Welcome back, everyone, to Find Music. This is episode 602. We go to our lead up man, Fred Whitlock, who has a hat full of new ideas.
Well, with the passing of Brian Wilson, his influence spans many decades and influenced a lot of different bands. And there's some under the radar bands that capture that California Beach Boy harmonies and melodies. And one of these groups is the Explorers Club. Uh, it's led by Jason Brewer, and he uses an array of different artists on his albums. The first one I started listening to was an album called Together. Came out in about 2016. It was their third album. It's got that retro sound of California sunshine, and it's the right combination of breezy music and structure that just grabbed me. And I continued listening to the whole album. I don't think it's a weak imitation at all. The harmonies work very well. The arrangements are catchy and has great energy to the album. It's a delight to listen to together. Then in 2020, they came out with an album called To Sing and Be Born Again. And this continues their sound of classic power pop music. They do a bunch of remakes of early 60s songs in their own unique way, again, led by Jason. He said in an interview, I'm a lifelong retro file. He likes going back and capturing the sound and spirit of these songs and adds a newer freshness to their arrangements. He does the Turtles' I'd Rather Be With You on this album, The Mighty Quinn. And the album ends with a great version of the Walker Brothers, The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore. It's retro, but it will have a freshness that will keep you listening to the album. Then in 24 December, he came out with an album, Wattage, under the Explorers Club. And again, it's 60 songs. He has a way of unearthing these forgotten classics, and he brings a new freshness to them. And he has several lead vocalists throughout the album. And he has Brenton Wood's Give Me a Little Sign, the Rascals, I've Been Lonely Too Long, Little Anthony and Imperials, Hurt So Bad. It's catchy and it just grabs you, even though they're remakes, they're soulful, has great insight on the lyrics. He's definitely influenced by the Beach Boys. They come from South Carolina, and he even goes back into the earliest 60s with the Fleetwood's song Tragedy. This is classic pop music at its best. Then this led me to another group, the Bamboo Trading Company, and they have a couple albums out, but the one I was listening to is the Bamboo Trading Company, which came out in April of 2013. This group consists of a bunch of artists that actually were in different surf bands and Beach Boys and backed up Jan and Dean even. Uh, Al Jardine's son, Matt Jardine, is on this album, and the vocals of Dean Torrance of Jan and Dean. It's 40 minutes of music, 13 tracks, that are just fluid harmonies and well-constructed songs. It's great capturing of surf beach music. It's seductive and plenty of sunshine, of course, because this is a summer album and it really flows over you. It's got a great sound and it takes off like a radio show with a song called Airborne, and it introduces you to the whole album. Then this led me to an artist, Alan Boyd, which came out with his album, Channel Surfing, in 2004. Now, it turns out he actually worked on the archives of the Beach Boys, preserving the archives and bringing out songs for their reissuing that were never released before. He's from Oakland, and he captures that California sunshine music incredibly well. He he wears his Brian Wilson influences right on his sleeve. There's no doubt about it. And this is engineered by Ed Mankey, who actually engineered a couple of the Beach Boy albums. He recorded this at Brother Studios, which was a studio that was used for several Beach Boy album recordings. His voice is right up front, well done vocals. In fact, Brian Wilson, after hearing this album, called him up and said, "Your voice is fantastic. I didn't even know it." And this has, I would say, if you like the Beach Boys album Friends, this comes out of that era, that sound that he has on Channel Surfing, Alan Boyd. Then, of course, if you're going to talk about Beach Boys and other albums that came out, there's a postcard from California about Al Jardine. And this came out in 2010 and then was reissued with bonus tracks in 2020, 10 years later. This is an extraordinary album. He's pieced it together over the years and put it together, and it features Glenn Campbell on the first cut. It also features Brian Wilson on a cut, Neil Young, David Crosby, two members of America, Group America. Carl Wilson's on a cut, Bruce Johnson. And he's got Steve Miller playing guitar on a version of Help Me Rhonda. So this is a great album. He embraces the whole musical influence of Brian Wilson, and he captures that California sound so well. He intentionally brings the sound of the Beach Boys to his music, but with all these guest artists, they add a new flavor to all the songs. There's a lot of original stuff he wrote, and I wish he would come out with a second album. But as long as we got a postcard from California, I'll be happy.
And that's the Beach Boys report for this week on Fine Music.
A lot of the songs that you brought up reminded me of the music that would be played at intermission on a drive-in movie double feature back in the days.